Hey everyone, I'm in Subnautica here. I'm going to give you some tips on base building and go through some of the stuff that you can discover as you play through the game. Now, a big tip that I've got for you right at the start of the game is to think about building a base right next to your life pod as you start the game. And the reason for this is this is basically the center where you explore out, so it's a good place to have a base. It's not masses of time to go anywhere in the world, and for most of the game, I was quite happy coming back here to sort out, my stuff and use this as a base to create everything, no problem. So I completed the game with largely this base. I built a very small base further afield. I won't spoil the game for you, but there's some areas where you go quite deep, and I found a base, a little small base just to store some bits as I was exploring, a little bit useful, but this main base was my main thing. Now, the weird thing that you're probably seeing here, which maybe you didn't think about, was I've put this base up high, and you may be wondering why I've done that. And the main reason for that is, particularly when you start out, there's a big problem with pressure when you go down deep and keeping the base sort of the hull integrity good. And you need to spend resources on building more hull integrity the bigger the base, which is quite annoying because it costs various components. So let me talk about that for you first. Or I'll talk about it in a minute. Let's go into the base. I just want to show you some of the things that you can do in a base. So when you start off, you're very limited with the stuff that your habitat builder has access to, and you basically got to explore wrecks, and you will gradually find blueprints for adding more interesting aspects to your base. So let me give you some ideas of some of the stuff that you'll discover over time. So I've just hit the D-pad to the right to access my habitat builder, and then right trigger, and then these are the different things that you'll discover over time. So I can have foundation. I think that's one of the ones you have straight up. A basic tubular compartment. I can have L compartments, T compartments, X compartment, glass compartments. So nothing too exciting there. But I can have vertical connectors, a multi-purpose room, which is this big, beefy room that we've got here, which we can obviously store far more stuff in. Then we've got the scanner room, which I'm going to show you in a bit, the moon pool, observatory I've not bothered with. I think it's a bit of a waste of resource, but it looks quite cool. Reinforcement, windows, hatches, and then you can have things like solar panels, thermal plants, power transmitter, floodlight, ladders, blah blah blah, all these different things, which I'll go through in this tutorial, but I just want to give you a quick tour of the base just for a bit of interest first. So what have I got in this base? Well, I've got an indoor grow bed, so it's very easy for me to get a bit of food. So I've grown these bulbo trees in there, and when I hack at the bulbo trees like this, they disappear, but I'll consume one and I'll replant. Oh no, that's an old potato. I'll just get rid of that. Let's hack this here, and I'll just plant it again, just so you can see how that works. So we just switch it to the container, and that bulbo tree will plant. So I've now got a good food source in my base. The bulbo tree you'll find on an island as you play through the game, so don't worry if you haven't got it straight off. You discover it a little bit later. I've got a little video on the bulbo tree if you want to see that in action. You can also have loads of lockers. You end up sort of generating a huge amount of stuff as you're exploring, and it's very good to have lots of lockers to store this stuff in. If we look at the habitat builder, the lockers, there are two, I think. You've got a smaller one, little wall locker. It only takes 2 titanium. And then this bigger one, which has far more storage space. It requires quartz and titanium. And that's this big one that we've got here. So if I just open up one of these lockers, like so, you can see we've got all of this storage here, huge amount of storage. I've got a propulsion cannon in here, bizarrely, but if I just then want to chuck stuff in this storage, I just right trigger and away we go. What else have I got in my magical base? So I have a nuclear reactor. If you're interested in how that works, I've got a separate video on that, but that powers the base. So you can see my power at the minute is a whopping 3075. That's all being generated really from this nuclear reactor. The nuclear reactor is really cool, or actually probably really hot. I've got this little aquarium. You can put little fishies in here. I actually took the fish out recently because I was right near the end of the game. I just want to change those. You can charge up power cells, so you can get a power cell charger. So this little thing here, I could chuck spent power cells. This one's actually charged, but if it wasn't, I could pop it in the charger and it will charge away. This is a bioreactor. This is another way of powering your base. This one uses organic matter to generate some power. Personally, I've never found it that useful. I should probably get rid of it because when you get the nuclear reactor, everything else is just kind of needless, really. I've got a normal battery charger, so that one again will charge your smaller battery components, so that's quite useful to have. Coffee machine, pretty pointless. It gives you a tiny sort of benefit. Let's just have a coffee while we're talking, so it'll pour away. It kind of looks quite cool though. Let's put this away so we can get rid of that deconstruct button. I like the sound effect though. Come on, there we go. So I've got a coffee, we could drink our coffee now. So coffee, it takes a little while to do, but it gives me +4 for my H2O, so a slight perk. Very important is to get a bed as soon as you can, because that allows you to sleep through the night. So you can see it's night time out there now. So if I sleep, it will rush me through to daytime, so that is really cool to have as soon as you can. You'll need the multi-purpose room to fit a bed in, and obviously you need to find the blueprint for the bed as well. There's a little snack machine, again quite pointless, just looks quite cool. It's pretty puny, the amount of sustenance it gives you. We'll just have a little look at it, so we'll see that there. Go into my inventory and we see a pathetic 3 food and -2 H2O, so it's not actually that great for us. But hey, it looks fun. More importantly, the moon pool allows you to dock a little, there's a little fishy swimming around there. Your vehicles, most importantly your Cyclops. So this is a very cool thing to build in your dock. You can then do things like upgrade it, you can change the colours of it and all sorts of stuff. I'm pretty sure I've got a separate tutorial on that, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But you can see here you can build modules for it, add torpedoes and all sorts of stuff for your Cyclops. Also, I definitely have a tutorial on this. The scanner room is really cool. This allows you to send out drones to explore around if you want, so you can explore the local area without fear of getting splattered. It will also, you can set it to scan for local stuff that might be of interest to you, so you can see nearby I've got cave sulfur, creature eggs, gel sacks, limestone chunks, sandstone chunks. And this is pretty useful, particularly early on in the game when you're looking for specific materials. If you can build the scanner room, it's a real big benefit. So the scanner room, again, you're going to need to find the blueprint for it. But when you found it, where is it? Let me find it. Scanner room. There it is. You'll need titanium, copper ore, gold, and table coral samples. So nothing too difficult there. But you obviously need to find the blueprint for the scanner room before you can build it, but very, very useful when you get it. And once you have it, you can also apply an upgrade to your suit, this little thing here, whoops, HUD chip, and then that will give you a little pop-up on your heads-up display where these things are, so that works really, really cool. What else have we got? Well, I've created a room here with not a lot in it at the minute. But down here I use the ladder, so you can have multi-purpose rooms. And the reason why I put these down here is these are my water filtration machines, and these are basically automatic, but you need to put them underwater. So I say underwater, the base needs to be down deep for them to work properly. If they're up on the top of the ocean, they work really slowly, so you want to have these down a little bit. And they just generate water for you automatically. They'll generate a couple of bottles of large filtered water and a bit of salt for you as well. And then you just collect them from time to time. And then what will happen is they will work again, as long as there is sufficient power for them to work. So these are, of course, really, really useful, because this water you can just store, and then if it goes bad, it's never going to go bad because it's pure water. It saves you having to find water in other ways. So gone are the days of the flaming bladder fish for getting a bit of water. So you can I'm just being wasteful here, aren't I? So, but yeah, the filtration machines there. Again, if we have a little look at our habitat builder, Where's our water machine? There it is. Titanium, copper wire, and aerogel. So they're not too difficult to build. The aerogel is the hardest thing to find, which I think I talk about in a separate tutorial. If not, I'll add something over time. If I forget, just let me know. So there's all sorts of stuff there. So you can see the base has got quite a few different things about it. I think that's the bulk of what my base... Oh no, there's a couple of other things. We'll just go back. Posters on the wall, which you can find as you're exploring in Subnautica. But if we go back to here, I added a radio. A radio is very cheap to build and saves you having to go off into your little life pod. Fabricator I added, which again we've got in the life pod, but just for convenience I've chucked one in here. Also added a modification station, which allows you to create more advanced stuff. So you can see my thermoblade, which you might be wondering what that cool glowing knife was. It takes a survival knife and a battery to make. High capacity tanks, ultra glide fins, upgrades for your Cyclops when you get to that, your prawn suit, your sea moth, all this sort of stuff. You need this to be able to do that. And you can see that's really the bulk of my base. I've got all these lockers and stuff. Is it still daylight outside? It is. So I'll just talk about how you build the base. So if we look at this here again, each of these components requires some stuff to build it. So a multi-purpose room requires 6 titanium. So if we have a little look at these lockers, let me see what I've got, or whether I've got any titanium, and I will just show you how this build works. Oops, I'm chucking titanium the wrong way there. That was bad. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. So you may discover some stuff. Don't pay too much attention to my inventory if you don't want any game spoilers, because I'm right near the end of the game in this particular playthrough. I will try not to show you much outside as well, because I've been building stuff that is really used towards the end of the game. So obviously you'll see some components here that you may have no idea about yet. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right. Wait. Really? All these things? I've got no more titanium. Hang on, sorry. Surely I've got some titanium somewhere. Oh, that looked like titanium, was it? Yes. Right. Titanium. Okay. That'll probably do us. So I just want to show you how base building works. So you can see my base here from the outside. So what I can do is I can build stuff out here using the habitat builder. So if I wanted to build a multi-purpose room, you can see it will automatically add this to my base wherever I decide I want to add it. So it says, well, you could add something here if you want. What I'm trying to think about is where that is on my base. I think that's right by my nuclear reactor. So if you can build it in the area, it will highlight green. There we go. So it says, well, yeah, okay, you could do that there if you really, really want to. I keep sinking down. There we go. So that makes sense. When I'm ready to do it, I've just pressed A and I hold down A, and it will be constructed as long as I've got the right amount of titanium to do it, which I have. So I've now built this extra multi-purpose room. You can see that the supports are automatically added, which is nice. But if I decide that I don't want this, what's cool about the way Subnautica works is it's non-destructive. So if you make a mistake, you can deconstruct by holding down the D-pad down button, and you will get your original components back, and this thing will be removed from your base, which is pretty cool. You can see it seals that back up, so if you do mess it up, no problem, my friends, no problem at all. So if you do decide you want to build down deep, what you need to think about is hull integrity. So if we go and think about, just dive down here and we'll have a little look where I put that lower down sort of base bit there. So this is where I've got to think about more hull integrity if I decide that I'm going to have stuff over here. So we could again use the builder here. We could think about whether we can add something here, which we may or may not be able to do. Yep, we can add one there. So we'll add it here just for argument's sake, just so you can see how this works. So you can see there we've added the room to our base and all is good. So let's just go and examine in there. Come up through here. So we should see, there we go. Now somehow I'm swimming in here, I'm not quite sure why. So this sometimes happens when you enter the base. If it does, you need to exit the base and all will be good again. So you can see I'm for some reason using water, using oxygen here. So if we come back up, we have a little look in there again. Does seem to be saying that we've got water in here. So what we could do is think about some reinforcement. I need some titanium. There's no titanium, is it? Let's see if we've got some here. And there. In here? No. You get the idea anyway. Let's see if it sorts itself out. I'll try sleeping and see whether that sorts itself out. No titanium when you want it. So you can see why sleeping is rather important. We didn't actually do a great deal before it was night time again, did we? So time does fly when you're having fun, my friends. Let's have a little look. Whoops. Little hum for you there. Does seem as though something is not right here, doesn't it? I don't know why. So we could try removing this. I can't see any damage to it. Any repair job needed? I can't see any issue. We'll have a little look outside to see if there's anything weird. But sometimes you'll find this with Subnautica, things don't quite go according to plan, and there's no good reason why. So we'll just have a little look, see if this looks... It looks okay. Weird. Okay, so we could try deconstructing. Let's see whether that fixed it. It may be a hull strength issue. So what you can also add, which now I've got those components back, I can show you. Get out. There we go. Is particularly where we're going under the water, is to think about... Still not happy, is it? We could think about adding some reinforcement. So reinforcement here, if we add this. 7 to whole base strength, total now 10.3. Seems happy. I don't know why that's gone. It might need a quit out and come back in again. But anyway, you get the idea of how you build stuff for the base. If anyone knows what I've done wrong there, let me know in the comments. That would be interesting to know. But hopefully that's given an idea of how base works. We'll just have a flick through some of the other stuff to see whether there's anything else interesting that we've not covered. Let's have a little look. Solar panels. This is something that you get quite early on in the game to put a bit of power to your base. You can put these on the outside, and when the sun shines, they will generate some power for you. They're quite puny. Thermal plant is more relevant when you're building a base down deep and you're near some of the what's the word? Thermal vents, I suppose. So where warm stuff comes out the ocean bed. You can extend the range of a power source. You can have floodlights underwater. Exterior grow beds if you want to grow stuff outside, so more sea plants. You can have a base attached air pump to help oxygen pump outside to a pipe network. Ladders we saw, water filtration machine. Bulkhead, I'm a bit confused with. It's a big hoof in strong door, but I couldn't seem to get it added to my have a little go, see whether I can add it. Ah, there we go. So yeah, we can add them here. So this is weird, this game, because sometimes it lets you build them, sometimes it doesn't. So there's a bulkhead. So again, we'll see that'll add strength to my base. And again, we can deconstruct it if we want. So it's quite cool that you can experiment with stuff as you discover it and see whether it's good or it's bad. Vehicle upgrade console. You build it in the moon pole, that helps you upgrade your dock vehicles. We had a quick look at that. Bioreactor, we talked about. Nuclear reactor, we talked about. The aquarium allows you to have different flora and fauna. So we talked about that. That was in one of the rooms. Fabricator, yes. Radio, yes. Oh, medical kit fabricator, you probably know from my brain's gone. The original rescue pod wall lockers we went through. Battery charger, yes. Aquarium, yeah. Modification, yeah. A small plant pot, so you can have this. This is quite useful if you've got limited space. You can grow your bulbo trees in there. Interior grow bed we went through. And these are more decorative apart from the beds. You can have a desk, you can have a chair. The nuclear waste disposal we talked about. Trash cans, quite useful if you want to permanently get rid of something. So some junk, you can lob that in the trash can. Picture frame, you can upload pictures that you've taken on your PDA. You can do a sign. Vending machines, coffee machines, counter, wall planter, single wall shelves. So all of those sort of things you can add to your base. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments, very welcome. If I missed something or something wasn't clear, let me know and I'll do my best to help. And yeah, have a little look at the rest of my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I upload many videos multiple times. I also reply to my posts. So if you've got a question, hit me up and I'll do my best to help out. And you'll see that I do reply. So this one was for YouTuber Stumpy West. So hopefully this answered the question for you. Cheers for watching.